Start recording. Play. Hello everyone. Welcome back
Last
to
time,
Dungeons and
on
Dragons.
last Windchimes, we had Eric do a thing.
Yeah, I'm actually... What happened last time? Let's see. Catherine discovered some funny stuff through a secret door accessible in the second, I believe the second level down of the tiered gardens. And what it pertained to was essentially...
You're cutting in and out.
Am I actually?
Either that or it's my internet. I think my internet's the problem.
Yeah, I think it's your internet. He's
Alright, I'm glad it's not a me problem, because that would be a lot more alarming.
Well, my internet's been cutting in and out for the last couple days. I don't know what the heck's going on, but I can only hear like every other word you're saying. So that's not going to be good.
A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P. How was that? I'm gonna assume it was bad, so
that is unfortunate.
Alright, we're waiting for Yaroth then.
Yeah.
Let me show you how to scratch it.
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Oh, bastard.
I just have to treat you as if you could potentially up and leave at any moment.
Explode.
Which would invalidate the correct number, not invalidate, it would lower us beneath the minimum number of required players.
Eric, I'm gonna go play a competitive set of games of Valorant. Bye.
D&D's canceled, everyone.
I'm joking.
Yeah, there's been something wrong with my internet connection in the house.
Have you tried?
Do you want to reset your router? That might do something.
I love how we're talking to Gisela, although she's made it very clear that she can only hear.
That's right. I'll DM her.
I hate this stupid idiot thing.
So I had a shaving accident. Now I have a cringe-ass Joker scar on one of my lips. That's fun.
Okay.
Damn, I can't imagine you being cringier than you were before the cringe-ass Joker scar.
I believe it's...
I know, right?
I can't imagine him needing them needing to shave.
I believe it's called the Glasgow Grin.
I can only think of Fergus as the Cheeto hair. What game were you playing? For Honor,
Public
I think?
Fire Emblem? What?
Is the router like the Wi-Fi? It's the box that the internet comes from.
Wait a second, what do you mean For Honor? I couldn't play that when I was over there with you.
You played For
pretty
Honor
sure it
when I
wasn't
was
even...
over there with you.
I swear that I didn't. I probably was playing... Like, what year was that? Hold up.
I guarantee
2017?
you played For Honor while I was over there.
Was it 2017 or 2016?
Because you showed me your favorite class, which was...
I don't think I did. What was my favorite class? Hold up.
It was the dude with the halberd.
I don't recall. I haven't played For Honor in like 2 years. Maybe that was the reason why I was so cringe.
To be fair, the before times were what, 1,000 years ago or something?
How do I tell which box is the router? It should have an antenna and a lot of wires connected to it.
If they connected to your phone line.
Correct. The router is not your computer. It's what the Ethernet cord goes into.
Right, but I meant it's not, the problem isn't just my computer.
Yes, I know. The router is what the internet comes from. It wouldn't be on your desk unless that's where you guys keep it. Like, for example, our router is...
I'm going to try seeing if the box has an off switch, and if so, I'll turn it off for 5 minutes.
Just unplug everything. Just everything. Just unplug it all.
Switch.
I think you should genuinely just unplug everything in the house.
I feel like there's just going to be like a massive power outage for all of them.
Nope,
New
this must
Jersey.
not be it.
Sometimes I can't believe how Shawnee's family has survived this long.
Hey guys,
I mean, they do
hello?
have
Can you hear?
Jonas, so they're
Yeah.
What the router looks like? I'm having trouble connecting to the internet, and it just
Oh my
like
lord.
turned off for 5 minutes. I don't know what it looks like to turn off.
Oh my. Oh, this is precious.
Shawnee's a treasure.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm
Maybe-
glad that I.
definitely.
You know, maybe one of us should like message.
Okay.
I've been having problems too.
Okay, my dad's rebooting the whole Wi-Fi.
Yes.
Great,
Because
yeah,
he's been having problems too.
Perfect.
Yes.
Right.
That's what
Hi.
I asked. for.
Hello,
Great.
Jonadad.
Good job, Shawnee.
I wish I knew Jonah's dad.
No, you don't. He can't cook pasta.
That's a kill him.
Yes.
Yeah, that's all that matters.
Anyway.
He tried to cook pasta once and it didn't work, and I was like, how?
Wasn't that Jonah that did that?
No, it was Jonah's
Did
dad.
he forgot? Did he forget to add the water? Like, how do you screw up pasta?
It's a great argument for eugenics. That's what it is.
You would be surprised.
Wow, Eric, that's cringe. Not keck.
Yes.
Oh wait, you
I see.
actually like cut the shit out of your cheek. God damn,
Yeah, no, yeah. Look, Joker cosplay.
that looks really
How did you
painful.
manage that?
It was. So 1:30 a.m. tipsy. Feel stubble on underneath. Not really even stubble. I don't even think, because I have never grown a beard, even when I like didn't touch myself for like a week. So I felt something, and I was like, my drunken self was like, "Oh, that's egregious." And so I'm trying to shave, wobbly handed, and something makes a noise, and I just kind of like flick it to the right, and it's just like, "Oh, bruh." It was bleeding a lot. It's now just kind of a scar. It's scabbed over and stuff, but like,
It's a sign of how good friends we've become that I've not mentioned phrasing once in this entire conversation.
what? What are you talking about? Stupid.
That was a very phrasing laden conversation.
I doubt it. Honestly, it's just one of those Scottish things, I think.
To be fair,
Yeah,
like,
honestly, Scottish people, awful. All of them. They're all
Yeah,
fascists.
I watched
Tippy.
Austin Powers. I know how this goes.
Is Austin Powers fascist? Or
No.
Scottish?
no,
My bad.
no, Michael, no, that hey,
So,
Michael
Wait,
Myers is
are we good?
Canada.
yes, I think. Hopefully.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Shawnee, Earth to Shawnee.
Yes.
Perfect.
Wait, hold up.
Nope. Alright, so,
You're cutting in
Catherine.
and out.
Nope.
Catherine found a secret passage that had implications about certain things. Specifically, it shed a little bit of light, darkness, questions, more questions than answers, on the Anastasic monarchs, the names given to the two big entities that would every 500 years come up and squash as much of everything that was built, like basically on the whole ass planet. And let it start anew and grow from the ground up once again, only to 500 years later come and curb stomp it back into where it belongs.
Except they're dead now.
Yes, they are dead. They've been dead for 50 odd years, and
They'll stay that way forever.
they have an
Resurrection.
implied connection to some centipedes that were really big, and through some mosaic kind of mural-y imagery shown to take residence over different parts of the world. One which centipede was around the geography of Nartzareth, one which lived at the bottom of an ocean, and one which went into a volcano. we also found a bunch of mummified Frederick clones, which makes no sense unless Frederick is very old.
I want to say something. In Mythos, the centipede can be like kind of like, how do you say this? Immortal. So maybe that's the thing. That's the symbolism. That would be epic.
So actually, this brings up a fair point. The symbolism of immortality was already there, because
Yeah, but centipedes are also a symbol of
no,
immortality.
I know.
Really? Who
So-
came up with that?
I think Japanese. I don't know.
It sounds a Chinese one.
Oh.
I think it's because there's some kind of self-replicating centipede.
Yeah, they can. They also can like really good at not dying.
Okay. Woohoo. Meanwhile, Cecil killed a guy, slew a man.
Accidentally.
As accidentally as somebody with a giant living flesh scythe
Eric,
that yearns to
Eric.
murder can accidentally kill someone.
I have a single sentence to prove my innocence.
Yeah?
Man found dead after police shooting.
Well, I don't recall any gunshots.
I was just saying is that I was making a shut up.
Are you saying Cecil's a cop? I don't.
I was making a joke about how the media portrays cops as not killing people, even like, and just phrases it in such bizarre way. Like, it feels weird.
Looks at camera. This
Eric,
this campaign
you
is
have to
not
know what I'm
political.
talking about. No, I know it's not political, but you have to know what I'm talking about, right?
Yes.
Okay, at least someone does.
So, a man was found dead after Cecil came through the area,
That's correct.
raises hands, no implications, and
Apolitical.
Cecil had also seen a bunch of different people sort of co-mingling with echoes, like in a weird way, because it's established that echoes see people in the real world as echoes, wherever they are in actuality, and vice versa. So there's sort of two weird societies that just kind of inhabit the same space, like extra-dimensionally, and they don't seem to mind too much. There was an expressed interest in said echoes from Death in the West, Cecil's site, but it was an interest that Cecil successfully repressed, as he is looking for the crewmen and crewwomen of.
So I remember we found Catherine.
Well, I'll get to that. Yeah, he's looking for the crewmen and crewwomen of the Black Flight, because he believes Catherine, left to her own devices, can kind of handle herself and her own shit. That said, we leave off with Catherine having absconded from the secret passage with the information that she retained from their depths. Moving towards a commotion in the lower levels, after having a brief little conversation with some Fire members that are dressed in black and gold, as opposed to the white and gold of Ozitra and the what was her name? It was
Yes.
It was like another word.
Leg.
No, it was an herb. Wasn't thyme. Wasn't
Coriander.
Thistle. Her name was Thistle.
Thistle.
Yep. Not an herb. Thistle. My bad. So the yeah, they were dressed in black and gold, and they had, they were armed. Looked like they were going to solve a problem with violence, as it were. And in following the meager directions she was able to get from them, she moves past an open doorway that Cecil is currently sort of hiding out from and peering out, like into the we'll say, just to set the stage a little more thoroughly. The scene is Catherine moving down a single cramped corridor. This one is winding and slanted and not as orderly as as the ones that are more frequently found in the tiered gardens. It's almost coiling down the central vacuous chamber of the gardens, except without stairs, and it's hard to traverse. So Catherine's making her way down, and there are these sort of cavities in the walls, almost like the slits that arrows get fired from. Not quite windows, but also not quite doors or
Like dispensers.
yes. And it is
Um.
through one of
Oh,
these that Cecil sees Catherine. Cecil, who is probably like perched like a monkey or something over some excursion, not excursion, some protrusion out of the other side of said wall that the dispensary is.
you said that the person who was found dead
Yeah.
had scrolls, right? And that I took them. Yes,
Mhm.
I do remember that specifically. Cecil would take a take a part of that like parchment. Could I theoretically make it into something that could fly, say a paper airplane, and just like whip it at the back of Catherine's head?
Um, how about you crumple it into a ball like a regular
Oh, that's
human?
even smarter.
Do you
I
have
like
more
paper.
oranges?
Would this be a sleight of hand or a stealth?
Uh, just to set the mood, let me get the music back. That's not the right video.
Shoutouts.
This is not the right video at all.
No, it's great. Can we have this one?
Nope.
This one's quite epic.
Yeah, so you crumple some parchment into a ball and you toss it at the back of Catherine's head. Catherine, you feel something very light and unthreatening sort of thwap into the back of your head.
Okay. I turn around.
There's a little gloved hand, just kind of like waving. You can tell it's Cecil's gloves because the weird markings on the back and like palm of them. If that's something that she would have remembered.
So this is an arm coming from a slit in the wall of the small corridor, this sort of haphazard corridor that you're having difficulty descending because it doesn't have any stair-like fixtures. However, you do recognize it is Cecil's hand. Cecil has somehow gotten up here.
Alright. So I duck over to there.
You can duck over against it. It doesn't look like there's a real easy way to get through to the side Cecil's on, seeing as how this is... it looks like this dispenser could be gotten through by a squirrel, not quite a human.
Alright. Yeah, she hears the like, hey! Hi.
Here.
Yeah. How you doing?
I'm trying to find Roderick. I accidentally sent him to a gladiator game,
Oh.
and
Oh.
I don't think he knows how to gladiate, so we should probably get him out of there.
Okay. What should I be looking for? Is he like? Okay. Do you want to figure out a way of like meeting up? You seem to be doing fine here. Is
Oh,
that
yes. I had a fascinating evening. I was going to go find Zitra and try to lie to her
about?
about gladiation.
Oh, okay. Do you want me to come with?
Will you make her suspicious?
No, me? No, of course not.
Maybe
just
you
got-
should just, like, follow back generally in the area, but not.
Okay, I can.
Especially since they're looking for an intruder right now.
Oh yeah. They won't find me. I'll just follow your smell, not to sound weird.
No problem.
Okay.
Don't sound
Well, good. Yeah, good. Yeah. Well, it's good to see you. Where's the rest of the crew?
I don't know. They're being kept somewhere.
Oh, shit.
Probably not as gladiators.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, no, yeah. That's better than, blood sport,
I don't know what they're
good.
planning to do to them, but
No, yeah, no. Well, it's good to see you. I'll be on my way, and hopefully you'll be on yours. Good, yeah.
alright. Yeah. All I've really learned here is that the Thyrae are really weird.
Yeah. I've noticed that too, actually.
You
Climbing
both
up
hear
near enough.
footsteps coming from
Shit.
the direction
Okay.
Catherine is going towards. Seems like they're coming
Okay,
up the
well,
corridor.
I briskly walk in that direction.
And Cecil kind of like crouches down and follows along the other side of the wall, I guess.
Okay, so Cecil, you're kind of like you're jumping across like beams of scaffolding that weren't meant to
Yeah,
be traversed, but you're doing a fine job of it. Um, the, op-
Aquabat Ulu.
the openings into the corridor never seem to get particularly bigger. In fact, they seem to be dispersing a little bit, and after a certain point, the corridor coils away from the space you're in as your space continues forward. So it looks like the two go in different directions. That said, Catherine, while you're thinking about that, Catherine, you all of a sudden come face to face with another one of the. I forgot to have it on repeat.
By the way, could I declare Zitra my nemesis? Because I'm really starting to dislike her.
She has to be on
Yeah.
screen for that, but sure, just keep it in mind. You are now face to chest, sorry, with another member of the Fire wearing the black and gold-hemmed robes. This one is not holding a large scythe.
Dark Souls?
This one, well, that without the hood, and it actually looks like black with gold hem, as opposed to just a bunch of black cloth.
Alright, fair.
This one is not holding a scythe. It is carrying a corpse.
Oh, lovely.
So it kind of almost runs into you before giving you a quick sort of vitriolic expression, as if to say, "Get out of my way," before going, "What are you doing? Who are you?"
Me?
Yes, you.
I'm a guest of Ozitra's. In fact, I was looking for her right now. So you're going to direct me in her direction because I have a pressing need to talk to her.
Roll persuasion.
Okay. I have to open my character sheet to roll persuasion. Oh, you never know. I might get...
Damn.
Hey. So with an unceremonious thump, the corpse is dropped to the ground. There's a little bit of a reaction when you mention Azitra's name, but it's not one of surprise. Instead, the vitriolic expression softens into a more sort of studious one as they sort of glance up and down your form and take a step back to more adequately take you in. They bring a hand up and look like they're pondering something before their other hand sort of reaches out and brushes up a lock of your hair as if examining it, feeling some of the strands between their fingers, which seems a little weird as the hand is gloved, but all the while it looks as if their gaze is piercing through your skin and looking at something beneath the surface that you're not aware of. However, after about 30 to 45 seconds of this, they give a just slightly perceptible nod of approval and say, "Yes. Alright. You wish to see Azitra? Then come with me." And they bend over and they pick the corpse back up.
All right.
Cecil turns around.
Great. So, you guys are now going back the way you came. Cecil, you smell. Roll insight.
Ooh. Wow, a passive 20 doesn't get it. That's interesting.
Insight is not perception.
Ooh.
Th-
Cecil is not very insightful today.
I was making a little pun. You don't smell anything out of the ordinary, other than, the guy you killed, because that's who the corpse is.
The person found dead.
Yeah, person found dead.
No one has any witnesses.
Cecil
No
holding
one
a
knows
very,
who did it.
very
Body
non-suspicious
cams.
smoking gun. Thankfully, Cecil had like 6 or 7 other Cecils that are all vouching for him.
Yeah, of course. I mean, like, why would a, yeah.
You
of
get
course.
you get to the top of the corridor that you were descending, and it opens out into a little lobby-like fixture. This is a room, and several other corridors move out from it, but one much more grandiose staircase goes inward and downward. It descends from this lobby out into the vacuous Colosseum. The black
What do you mean
robed.
vacuous coliseum?
It's a
It's not stupid.
it's a big empty space.
Oh.
Well,
That's all I'm saying.
I was gonna be diplomatic and not point it
Isn't
out.
that a
but-
secondary definition? Hold on.
I'm pretty sure vacuous just means dumb, but maybe you're right.
Archaic, empty. I'm using the archaic form.
Of course.
So they move over to not quite a counter, and they slump the corpse up on top of it, where you hear some chains rattling and a grate open, and then some gruff hands, none of them seeming to match, like two to a pair, reach out of the darkness and pull at the corpse until you can't see it anymore.
Holy shit.
Um,
That's scary.
Cecil, in order to
Yeah.
sort of get a vantage point in this, the space you were in sort of climbs up over this lobby, and you're looking down through some gaps in the ceiling. Some of these are large enough for you to slip through,
Good.
as Catherine and the gold-hemmed, black-robed figure descends with her.
Alright, great. So, Cecil does actually drop down, as I'm assuming Catherine and the black-robed figure are speaking. Or at least walking.
Yeah, how far back do you want to be?
Oh, not very. Like, maybe 5 feet.
You're gonna have to roll stealth.
No, I'm not stealthing, I'm just dropping down.
Oh. Okay. You drop down, and
Just starts walking at the exact
hold
same
on,
pace.
hold on.
New plan. Death in the West, probably not visible. It's probably like wrapped around him, like that weird, like kind of belt-looking thing that I described a little while ago. Not really like a belt, but you know what I mean. Like it, like you'd have to really look at it and be like, oh, that's a
So
weapon.
the figure's head whips around and looks at you, and it doesn't
Hi.
say anything.
Cecil, like, looking back at him, Cecil just kind of walks along Catherine, who, I don't know what her expression is right now, but if it's not, like, immediate shock or surprise, hopefully it'll just play along. What's going on with Catherine right now?
Yeah, what's going on with Catherine? How are you gonna help
Catherine-
justify Cecil's existence?
Basically doing her best to protect. I don't know this guy. Don't blame me. Her body language, like, yeah, some guy happens to be walking around by total coincidence near by me. Don't think I have anything to do with it.
All right. So the figure looks at Cecil, looks to Catherine for some sort of confirmation. Doesn't.
As this is happening, just as a quick note, I would like to roll intimidation as Cecil walks with such grandiose importance.
You haven't
that he
you haven't
looks
walked
like-
yet. They haven't
haven't
walked
I?
down the
I
stairs.
thought we were. No, my bad. What I was saying is that Cecil is initiating the walk.
No, yeah. So your current you. This is immediately after you drop down from
Yeah,
the
yeah.
ceiling.
Yes. Okay.
So you're going to try and intimidate by walking away.
Not away. No, with them.
They're not walking.
Well, okay. Where they are going. Yes.
They stop after you drop.
Oh. I was under the impression that they were just gonna like. Okay. My bad.
Yeah, they
What I
would
meant
if
to
a
say-
person
Yeah.
doesn't
They
drop
did
from
kinda
the ceiling.
stealthily.
Yes, Eric, that's what I'm understanding. Look, I get what you're not getting is what I'm saying is that Cecil is continuing down the path that they would have
Yeah,
gone.
yeah,
as though
yeah.
nothing
I gotcha.
happened.
I gotcha.
Yeah, okay. So instead of walking away, I was meant like, what are you doing? Come on.
Intimidation.
Like, how do you know how you can kind of like make yourself look frightening? Eric, you're a cryptid, you know. You've killed people,
I don't
right?
think I've ever intimidated somebody by walking in the direction they were going. I think you're gonna have to say something before doing so.
Yeah, okay, fair.
I mean, someone can have a menacing walk.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Is that like I
But
really
that's
want to.
usually more if you're
No,
walking
that's
towards
fair.
them.
I'm saying this
Yeah,
person
yeah.
is gonna need a little more.
All right. Cecil, like.
we have to send Phil into the money
So
python.
let's rewind
Oh,
just
wait.
slightly.
Yeah. Okay. Sure.
They're walking towards the grandiose staircase that descends down into the Colosseum. You drop down from the ceiling
Yes.
gracefully, your Cecil, in front of them, and immediately after looking to Catherine for some sort of confirmation as to your identity and getting none, they look back to you with this sort of placid intent to kill, as if it was no weight on their mind at all.
Good. Okay. Cecil looks at them unoppressedly and is like, "Well, why are you stopping?" And he just continues.
All right, even better. Go ahead and roll that intimidation check.
All right. 23.
All right.
Nice.
It's off balance. It puts them off balance enough to give their attack disadvantage.
All right, great.
Yeah, great.
I love to see it. Well, that's one.
That's one.
Yeah. So I like to imagine this as like he attacks or they attack. My bad. And Cecil just kind of ducks under it and continues going. He's playing. He's committed to the bit.
Okay, they're going to attack you again. Are you
This is
sorry?
the
Are you
deal.
doing anything, Catherine?
Yeah. No. Oh well.
Um.
I thought I would have had a chance to react and like. My bad.
You're committed to the bit.
I'm
I thought.
saying, so I should be going down there that way?
Yeah. Catherine doesn't seem perturbed at all.
They just give you this this sort of curt yes.
Alright, have fun killing each other. Bye. go down the stairs.
I love Catherine,
And Catherine
so
starts
much.
booking it down the stairs. Are you committed to the
Alright.
bit, or are you doing something?
What I meant committed to the bit, I was meaning as though I would like to roll another intimidation roll.
They
Or does that not work? I don't know how D&D functions.
So the thing is, intimidation.
Yes.
Intimidation
work?
is as a skill, is sort of like persuasion in that the circumstances and effects are basically left up to discretion. This person can't be intimidated out of not killing you, if that's what you're saying.
No, I meant intimidating them at being worse at killing me. Like throwing them off balance yet again.
Yeah, it's not really a combat skill.
Okay. I was under the impression that it
Or
could
or
be.
rather, if it is, it's gonna take your full action.
Alright. If that's the case,
The diminishing returns.
can I?
Oh,
I wanna-
let me describe the attack real fast. So
Oh yeah, sure.
So you start walking away, and as you duck, sort of this you know the hand from
Oh, yeah.
JoJo Part
Yes.
4?
Part 4.
That
yeah.
kind of happens a little bit, except instead of being a black hole, it's like this glistening, horrible screeching noise with and the air is refracting as if through the faces of a gemstone.
Alright. Is this person... Would perception be a roll or a bonus action?
You're not
I wanna check
facing
some.
them.
Okay, so would turning around be...
So you turn
what?
around and you look at what they're doing as this happens?
No, I don't want to know what their attack was. I want to know how, like, high up on the pecking order this person would be.
That would be an insight check. And you can do that for
Insight. Oh, okay. Wow. What's up?
free. You know very little about these people in general. However, what you
Fair.
do know is that they are formidable by the standards of the people that lost to them.
Okay.
So you're not sure where this person would be on the pecking order because you just don't have anything to compare it to other than the little scholar down there that mysteriously died in your
Yeah, who knows what
in your
happened.
vicinity.
So, unfortunately, since I can't stare at this person to death, is unsheathing an action?
No. You can do whatever you want.
Alright. So, like, Death in the West immediately, like, springs outwards and, like, turns into the big scary weapon from, like, basically what almost looks to be out of nowhere, just the way it was kind of positioned. As...
So it's like the Bloodborne version of a peacock tail.
Yeah, 100%. That's what it looks like. It looks like an unfolding fan. Yeah.
Disgusting.
As, like, it looks like it's kind of, like, eating its way into existence, almost. Like teeth kind of come in and out of existence. It looks like it's, like, a reverse Ouroboros.
Okay.
And Cecil kind of, like, does, how do I, is there a way I can, like, put someone into submission by, like, putting a weapon against them? Because Eric, I'm really trying not to cause damage here.
Well, then maybe you shouldn't drop unannounced from the ceiling.
But hear me out. I was expecting to get away with it, with Catherine being like, "Oh no, it's cool."
She didn't cooperate.
And she didn't cooperate.
She's running
So-
down the
Nope,
stairs.
he's
Catherine, it's really dark and you can't see, and these stairs don't have rails. Roll athletics.
That's really funny.
You start falling down the stairs. So,
Oh my
so
God.
anyways,
Yeah. So is there a way I could do that, like to be like stand down, or do I have to?
you
commit
can
to the...
you can just talk at them and roll another intimidation check.
All right, but would I roll an attack to see if I could hit them, like as in like to almost emote the
No.
fact that I am like putting a weapon to them, or is that just like a?
Part of hitting somebody is also getting through their defenses.
Oh, I see.
So
I'm sorry, I'm kind of learning as I go.
yeah,
Still, so.
you can just like put your weapon up and then do what you're saying, and then say what you're gonna say as part of the intimidation roll, and then they'll react however they react.
Okay. Yeah, because I'm.
Like if you have a sword, you can just put it at a dude's neck, and
Oh,
you know
yeah,
if they
that's-
flinch
yeah,
or
okay.
freak out or something, that's what they're doing in response.
So yeah, Cecil attempts to do that and says like something along the lines of, "Please stand down."
That sounded more persuasive.
I mean, I feel like the display. I feel like if Cecil was just saying that, it would be persuasive. But
Okay,
the
all right.
performance
So
of Death
it's
in
more
the
like
West
it's more like a
looks-
pleading. I'm gonna have to kill you if you're doing this.
That's 100% what. It's like the good cop, bad cop, but the bad cop is an eldritch horror.
Intimidation with disadvantage.
Intimidation with disadvantage. Got you. I am going to re-roll that because I mean, hey, what's the point in not? 12/24. Okay, that's a 12.
Anything else?
Yes. I have 5 hit points currently. I want to exert it.
Oh fuck! Oh, Cecil.
You
But I-
haven't surged that much ever since you fell through the healing portal, have you?
Yeah, I have.
He's surged a lot.
I enjoy surging. So if I were,
Jesus
can,
Christ.
do I have the ability to?
Yeah, it would just bring you to 0.
No matter what? Or...
If it's 5 or above, yes. As
It would
long
just
as you
bring you
have
to a-
greater than 0 health, you can surge.
And whatever that search value is, I will only be brought to 0 health. This won't immediately.
You can have
If it
1
is,
health,
like-
surge, and get a 9, and then subtract 1 health and add 9 to your bonus.
Okay.
I mean, I feel like the deception.
That's an exact. That's
All right,
exactly
so
a 5.
17
That's a
is
17
high
isn't
is high
bad.
good or bad,
Ooh.
because 17 is like just skirting the edge of what I was gonna make this the DC.
I'm gonna let Caro decide because he thinks he's always right.
All right, Cecil's fate lies in your hands, Caro.
I really don't think I'm always right, but
I'm joking,
Just
just-
for that, I'm gonna say that high is bad.
Well
Do
then,
it.
It worked.
So,
Alright, 1 point.
Wyatt, that was an 87 on a high as bad roll.
You know, I really do think Arrow is the reason why.
Let me start just.
So, Death in the
I
West
should have just said high is good.
gets pretty close
Yep.
to this figure's neck, and they don't seem to be reacting. What did you vocally say to them again? Please stand down.
Yup.
They they say they kind of get this real grim smirk, almost a sadistic smirk across their face as their left hand reaches into their coat and they say, "Sure." And you get to make a charisma saving throw.
Question.
What's up?
Bonus action hide.
You're right in front of them.
There's a grate that I could
You want to?
theoretically.
I will say succeed on the charisma check, and yeah, go ahead and disengage.
Like the charisma save thing. I don't know what happened. 19.
19, nice, great. So the screaming chasm of glistening nothingness happens again, and you feel it start to break apart your personality at its core.
That's fun.
As this person pulls their arm back out of their coat and reality starts to unhinge. You
That's epic.
force it back together mentally as it sort of starts to get cheese grated in front of your eyes, and then
Cecil just starts mumbling to himself, "I'm a cool guy. I'm a cool
you
guy.
just
I'm a cool guy."
you anti-cheese grater reality back into what it was, and
Yup.
and you just leap up for the hole in the ceiling that you had come through, and you disengage. So you're up there now.
No. I said hide specifically.
Oh, all right. Well,
Yeah.
So what I was attempting, if you would have let me describe it.
yeah,
No, I'm joking.
yeah, go
What I
ahead.
was going to say was that would it be at all possible to just throw the scroll, one of the two that you described, over this guy's head and then just like dash upwards?
It's like
Just
it's
skedaddle on him?
like a piece of paper.
Yeah.
How big do you think
So-
squirrels are?
Have you ever?
I imagine you unroll them and they're pretty relatively long.
Oh no, like I'm saying unfurled. This is a piece of paper, like a nine,
Oh, wow,
nine and a
that's
half
really shitty
by
scroll.
11.
Okay, well I just shove it in his face and then skedaddle.
Also, yeah,
All right,
I don't know.
where are you running? There
I
are
don't-
5 different paths, not including the downward grandiose staircase and the area that Catherine had just emerged from with this figure.
So, Cecil is going to probably. Okay, wait, hold up. Let me. Yeah. Cecil is going to skip the emerald down one of the halls and immediately duck behind another to make it sound like he's dipping in a separate location.
Roll sleight of hand.
Sure. 22.
Okay. And roll perception, not spell based.
14.
And your passive for not spell based would be 16.
16.
Okay, so you very effectively, sort of simulate the I'm escaping down 2 different corridors strategy, and they fall for it at first before recognizing that they're falling for it, and they look back at where where the real you was going, but they go after the emerald anyways. Like,
Do they?
almost with
Okay.
fear. How hard did you throw it? And did you throw it down one of the corridors that descends?
No, I'm planning to retrieve it. Do I get? Is combat still happening?
Combat hasn't been happening.
Oh, even better. I would like to attempt to sneak down the hallway that he went.
Okay, so
Rapidly.
so you hyper JoJo'd this, and you simulated the I'm going down 2 different corridor
Yeah,
strategy.
that was the plan.
But you went down one corridor.
Yes, exactly.
and you're just
But to make him go forward,
right.
like in
Describe
front of me.
describe how you did this, and roll a stealth to see if it's successful.
So Cecil and his galaxy mind, as soon as he hears the footsteps going in the direction that he had whipped the gem, he mimics like this person's gait as he's like running after him. So like every step, it sounds like maybe if he was super listening, he would probably be able to tell. But like if he's panicking or if he's fearful of something that's about to happen, that I think that it's a short enough gap that it won't matter.
All right. He goes to pick up the emerald.
As he's doing that, do I roll stealth?
Oh yeah. Roll stealth. My bad. I looked at the sleight of hand.
What? Okay, hold up. What's Virgil doing right now?
It's
What
not
am I doing
pertinent.
right now?
No, it's relatively pertinent. What was Virgil last doing?
Are you asking for rerolls?
Yes.
Oh,
I'm at 0 hit points. I can't fail a roll.
you have 15 stealth. That's at least decent. You're basically an assassin. The DC is relatively low because of how busy he is. Don't
I'm
panic so much over it.
I'm willing to doubt that. Kara, you were wrong last time saying high is bad. Are you sure you want to risk it a second time?
What do you mean he
Uh,
was wrong?
Checks names.
Yeah, you said high is bad. High looks pretty good to me.
Okay.
I might very well be needing that later
Alright, fair enough.
myself.
Well,
The night is
fine.
young.
so you roll
That's
with a
fine.
15. Great. Sounds like there aren't any takers.
Yes.
It doesn't look like, if they're aware of you, they care. They reach down to get the emerald.
Okay.
Are you doing anything?
Attack with Death in the West? Yes? Is that okay?
Yeah. Make your attack.
I can hear your smile and I don't
No,
like
it's
it.
not a smile. It's a concerned mouth opening several times, not coming up with something to say, bowing my head, and then, continue.
Alright.
Awfully specific.
Okay. Alright. Okay. Does this count as a surprise attack?
Roll the attack. You
Oh, yeah, of
never
course.
tick off advantage anyways. So.
You're right. 19?
All right, roll damage.
This makes me extremely nervous. Are you okay? Time. Assuming, is this a surprise attack?
Are you great weapon mastering?
No.
Great. So, describe how Death in the West hits this figure.
You still haven't said that whether or not this is that the right damage? Because if it's not,
Yes.
So it's not a surprise attack.
They are taking 44 damage.
Great. So the hand that was touching the emerald, suddenly in his vision, if he hadn't seen it already, this malformed, almost jaw-like motion of Death in the West comes down against this person's like shoulder / bicep, as if to like, not really. I don't know whether or not this would actually like chop it off, but that's probably not a nice cut, all things considered.
It's a 44 damage cut.
Yeah. So, there's this kind of sickening like as Death in the West kind of like makes weird gurgly screeches, all the song and dance of this weapon. Yeah. And Cecil kind of like just like that was like as a probably maybe not a warning cut, but definitely not like a I'm gonna kill you sort of motion.
All right. Are you putting any distance between yourself and this individual?
Yeah, like I said in the description, Cecil kind of moves back after that.
How much?
Maybe like 5 feet, 10 feet, something like that.
Okay, so as Death in the West sinks into their flesh and just tears through the fabric as if it were nothing, you hear not the sound of bones breaking, but the sounds of crystals grating against each other as you sort of so Death in the West kind of clamps over the arm and the shoulder and bicep of the arm that was reaching towards the emerald, right?
Yeah.
They just sort of let Death in the West hold that half of them there as they pivot their other hand, now off balance, towards the stone and pick it up with that. As soon
No
as it
attack?
what?
Oh, never mind. Go on. Sorry. Continue.
As soon as it makes contact with their fingers, it sort of assimilates into them as if a fluid and crystallizes across their skin, coating their arm and the robe that would now be underneath this crystallization in this this incredibly elegant emerald exterior.
Ah, shit.
And they twist under where the rest of their torso is being held up in the air and pointed at you, and several long spikes of emerald shoot out in your direction.
But no one can deflect the emerald splash.
Nobody can deflect the emerald splash.
No, it doesn't hit. Sorry.
You take a severe wound.
But I do see it coming.
You do.
So
But you're
what's
at
half
0
a severe
health?
wound? But what's half a severe wound?
I'm gonna leave this up to the Senate. Does the uncanny dodge skill also pertain to wounds, or just health damage?
As the only other person with uncanny dodge, Virgil, what do you have to say?
Well, technically speaking, it's damage, so I feel like just because you can see it, it would go down. Is moderate the lowest level?
It goes minor,
levels of
moderate,
exhaustion?
severe. This is 3 levels of exhaustion he would be
So
taking.
it should go down to moderate.
What's the narrative difference between a moderate wound and a severe wound?
The narrative difference is that a severe wound is worse.
Well,
I-
yes, but
Like imagine this: a piece of sheet metal slices through your chest. That's a moderate wound. Something you definitely need to get fixed up, but it doesn't take you completely out of commission. As opposed to something impales both of your lungs. That's a severe wound.
It sounds like since you can see it coming, but because with your health.
All right,
runs
it sounds
gets
like
to zero,
Virgil is
you're-
vote in favor of yes, it should affect wounds. What is your vote, Stuart?
Sync sound effects.
How
I mean, it makes sense to me.
much of a bastard am I today?
Well, the thing is here's my argument. You can see damage coming, but you can't.
I know what your
evade it
argument
completely.
is, Fergus.
I'm talking specifically to Amalia. I think Stuart.
Well, that's an 11.
If this constitutes as
I'm
damage.
gonna server mute you, Fergus. Let the man speak.
All right.
That's an 11. I did not set any parameters. Yeah, I'm gonna say yes, you can.
All right, that's 2. Shawnee.
Okay, I vote yes also.
All right. I'm not gonna see if it's unanimous. We already have a greater than 50. So you have the moderate wound, impaled parentheses flesh wound.
All right. I'll put that in ideals.
This is holding you in place, and I'll tell you what the consequences are when you're unimpaled. But right now your movement is reduced to 0.
Okay. Do I have an action?
Yeah, you're 10 feet away from them.
Okay. Death in the West is okay. Great. Well, you know what else can do damage from 10 feet away? Check it. So Cecil puts like grunts and like kind of twists and rides away from like what this is. Can't get away from it because he's pinned to the ground by it. Where is he impaled?
Not not necessarily to the ground. It shot
Okay.
towards you and is going through you, and you basically now have a monkey bar just going through your abdomen.
Oh, that's great.
And it
Okay.
actually, where would it have to be going through? I guess it's going like right. It's not going through your abdomen. There's actually two of them, and they're small, and they just barely are like a tuning fork around your collarbone. They're not
I was
going
just
through
gonna
any
say-
organs.
I was just gonna say is that through the abdomen there are places that it could have gone that wouldn't immediately.
Yeah, but if it was going through the abdomen, it would have been big enough that no, it's not really reasonable
Yeah.
for it to miss like your
That's
kidney
true.
or something.
I can't imagine how big this thing is. So yeah.
It's went through the appendix.
But yeah, so Cecil kind of like writhing around like a fish for a few seconds before Death in the West's scythe kind of like peels back to reveal a mouth as it fires the coagulate at the area of where the spikes were coming from.
Okay, roll attack.
All right. 27 critical.
Describe it.
Nice.
Scratching the fact that it's ranged. A mouth just kind of sprouts out of Death in the West and bites down on the crystals, like very aggressively, and like kind of inflicts this weird like ooze necrosis and kind of turns the crystals into flesh.
So this is
like-
Death in the West, the scythe doing this?
Yes, this is this is the semi-autonomous creature of Death in the West. Do I roll damage?
You do. I'm gonna tell you what this is. This is Death in the West rolling a Constitution save.
Interesting.
I'm gonna say Death in the West has a very high Constitution.
As a critical, I would say he better, or they better actually. My bad. Do I roll damage? I roll
Yeah,
damage,
you do.
right?
You do.
Oh, whoops, my bad. That's not the right. That's not it.
Coagulates.
Wait,
the
hold on.
2d10,
I
so
gotta-
it's 14 plus 8.
Okay, great.
What would its? I guess like 18 makes sense, right, guys? For a very high Constitution, and then I'll give it proficiency for the fuck of it. So, fuck. Okay, so as the coagulant just starts to ooze out of the maw that is Death in the West, clamping down on this crystallizing arm, the emerald sort of sheen that is now coating kind of half of this individual's torso starts to spread up Death in the West's teeth. Do you want it to stay there or pull away?
Weirdly enough, I think that the mouth stays there, but the back of the mouth kind of shrinks out with this weird-looking umbilical cord and then snaps off like it decayed itself.
Okay, so it's just taking a piece
So
of
it
it
looks,
off.
yeah, it amputates itself, and the mouth kind of stays there.
All right, that works.
So I'm assuming did it break the place?
Oh
where
yeah,
the
no.
crystal- yeah.
You basically absolved of any consequence.
All right. Now, after my attack, bonus action disengage.
You have movement of 0. How are you gonna move out of range?
Am I no longer pinned?
You are. The fixture that you're impaled on is still intact.
I was under the impression that it didn't shoot immediately through me. I thought you said that.
What do you mean?
Well, I thought maybe I must have mistook what you meant. I thought I was.
Here,
I thought
I'll
my
give a
movement was
great
0.
visual aid.
No, please don't. It doesn't have to
You.
be like this.
Them
Okay, yes.
bending over to get emerald. This
Yes.
arm pick up emerald. They turn
Yes.
around. Spikes shoot through you.
Yes. I was under the impression that the spikes didn't hit a fixture. I thought that I was held still by them.
You are.
But I thought that
This
the-
right here is what I was referring to as the fixture.
Fuck. I'm so confused.
So you're on this dude's arm. How are you disengaging?
I was under the impression that the attack from Death in the West was to break the weird crystalline structure that
You
was
did
attached.
damage to it. It didn't break.
Okay. Um, can I wriggle like an eel off of the top of these? These are pretty thin crystals, right?
Yeah, they're going around your collarbone. I'm gonna need a fucking, I guess a wisdom save and a constitution save to get yourself in the mindset where that's conceivably possible. Just kind of
Right.
wrap your mind around the shock.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. This is terrifying. Cecil is not having a good time, of course. So if I fail these, honestly, it'll be more interesting.
All
19
right.
wisdom
You
save?
start to sidle back, and you manage to I'm gonna say it costs like 20 of your 30 movement to get
Great.
off. But you can get 10
Awesome.
more feet away.
So now I can bonus action disengage.
Yes.
I can go 10 feet vertical.
With an athletics jump, yes.
Athletics jump. I was under the impression that this was like okay. No, yeah, you're right. No,
Jumps
that makes
if
sense.
you're not assisted by
Yes.
anything, yeah.
All right.
You're also in a corridor, and
Yes.
maybe the spaces in the ceiling aren't in this corridor. They were in the lobby.
I have a question about movement.
So,
Wait. You don't. I haven't said my question yet.
go ahead.
If gravity is involved, do I have to still follow the laws of my allocated amount of movement?
So movement is the amount of space you can conceivably move in a round. It's not how fast
Also, I have
you can go.
40. Oh, instead of so it would
You have
have been
20
20 out of the yeah 40 feet.
So, basically, if you use all of your movement to get to a ledge and then jump, you end the round like having jumped, and then you fall for however long you can fall in the duration, which is then
So
calculated.
if I were to
afterwards.
then theoretically tuck and roll down the same stairs that Catherine went, would I be letting gravity do the work, or would I still have to like?
I've been imagining the emeralds like 40 to 50 feet down this corridor.
Oh, okay. All right. I mean, sure. If that's yeah, okay.
So you're 10 feet away from them, who picked up the emerald. So you have 40 feet to go to the lobby, and then the staircase that Catherine fell down is another like 15 feet away.
Okay, great.
That said, so you say you're using your bonus action to disengage. There is a part of cunning action that you're glossing over.
Okay.
Is the dash
don't
bonus
know.
action.
Oh.
If you think you can take another hit from this guy / dodge another hit from this guy, you can move your entire movement again after expending your 20 feet.
If I think I can take another hit, so what? Do you think that there's going to be an attack of opportunity?
So
How does that work?
disengaging is just using movement without them being able to attack of opportunity. If you don't
Oh.
think they can attack of opportunity you, then there's no reason to disengage. You should just dash away. However,
They get advantage on an attack of opportunity, don't they?
no, they don't. However, their little emerald thing seems
You also gave them plus 11.
relatively long range. Yeah.
So they'd have to get a 5 or under.
How many
That is
levels
a-
of exhaustion do you have?
2. That is a 25% chance to not die.
And it's impossible for them to inflict 4 levels of exhaustion with a single attack. So even if they do hit you, as long as you can, wriggle off again if it impales you in the same way, then you can get out. Assuming that you take no damage tuck and rolling down the stairs.
Well, I'd imagine the tuck and roll, I've safely rolled downstairs.
Have you safely rolled down the stairs of an Aztec pyramid?
Yeah, haven't you?
So Catherine, you have been falling down these stairs for about long
Can I
time.
make a dex save?
No, this isn't a dex save. This is a constitution save. You are consigned.
I thought you were going to say this is a consequence.
You are consigned to the. Nice. Okay. So, for some reason, you have a really hard head, and so instead of protecting your head with your arms, you protect your arms with your head, and you're just thonking down these stone steps Is high good or bad?
High is excellent.
Um,
High is not excellent.
Okay, so you're mostly going down the steps, and then after this 30 to 45 seconds, like I said, they have no railing. You are not going down evenly, and you go over the threshold of the side, and now you're in a free fall. You can't see anything. Actually, that's not true. Very occasionally, you can see the glint of the stars above. Because you're spinning rapidly in this free fall.
Can I see how far down it is? Wait, why am I wasn't running down the steps in the first place, was I? Why am I falling in there?
You were running down the steps, and then you tripped and fell. And
Okay, I didn't think I was running down the steps.
the thing is, the steps, you can't see them. It's too dark too, and they don't have railings.
Yeah. Alright. Well, anyway. Oh, that's not, good?
Also, you take 5 bludgeoning damage from the fall. Not the
Okay.
fall, but, you know, the rolling downstairs.
Yeah. Okay. So, okay. So, let's see. So you know that silvery thread? That magical silver thread that I took?
Yes.
Can I try something yet?
Try what?
Basically whirling it around and see if it sticks on anything?
Okay, so roll a dexterity check to see how well you can sift through your inventory in a twirling freefall. All right, so you get the thread out and you come up with this brilliant idea to I'll just twirl it around, and as you're looking at it in triumph, you slam into the sand. You only fell like 25 feet.
Okay.
And you not 12, not 12. You take another 8 bludgeoning damage as you kind of land hard on your shoulder and your legs buckle and like over you, and then you kind of like slump over. You landed hard and not in a good way, but you don't feel like anything's broken. You just feel a little tousled up, and your makeup got fucked up, and your hair is no longer in, you know, its pristine form.
Aww.
And you hear
my beautiful hair.
You hear the ruckus above, and you hear a lot more footsteps coming lateral to you, which is significantly below the lobby you were in before you started to descend the steps. But more importantly than that, you landed in sand, but you can't really see it, and it's like an inch in front of you. This is some really pure darkness. Some really weirdly pure darkness. And you realize that the darkness in front of you is not the empty darkness of like, you know, a space, as it shifts and moves out. And as it does, the clarity of what meager starlight and moonlight reaches down here emphasizes it as the paw of the giant lion that was with the carriage that took you here. And it looks down at you.
Hey, nice to meet you.
And it emits a very low rumble in the back of its throat and chest.
Eric, what did we do today?
We did a lot of
How you
things.
feeling, buddy?
So, Cecil,
Yeah.
you unpinned
yeah.
yourself from the emerald fixtures.
Yes.
What do you decide to do afterwards?
Well. Can I use insight to see how far these crystals can go and how fast they jut it out?
Sure.
Sure. 19?
If you
Basically, out of character, what I'm asking is this going to constitute an attack of opportunity?
You could just disengage.
You
But I would
think
like
that
to dash.
might have been a one-time attack.
Okay. Great. I'm gonna dash.
However,
Oh,
and this just pops into your mind before your instinct comes in to turn and sprint away, you have no idea how far their weird screeching tear through reality works.
interesting.
You can disengage and then bonus action dash as part of cunning action.
Or
He's
vice
already
versa.
used his action to attack. He only has his bonus action to work with.
Oh.
That's unfortunate.
Is there anywhere to hide in this corridor, or is that a no-go? Is it just a...
Probably, yeah, you can't really hide.
Alright.
You could ask him very nicely to wait 10 minutes while you try and
You don't mind if I have a short rest real quick?
while you try and like scribble one of
Just ask him to
Oh yeah,
play
actually, you're
triple triad with you. He'll be
unimpaled.
fine.
You're unimpaled, so the lasting wound of your moderate, flesh wound is you can
Oh.
only really use one of your arms, so attacks with Death in the West are made with disadvantage.
Okay, great. What about the ranged attack?
Yeah, you can't really aim it too well. You kind of like
Okay.
it's kind of
How
like
about
one-handing an
Okay.
assault rifle.
If I were to use one of my legs... You know what? never
Sure,
mind.
you
That's
can
different-
sacrifice
different
half.
theoretical question. Anyways, so I'm going to dash.
All right.
Bonus action, dash 60 feet,
Uh-huh.
following Catherine's smell.
So it leads you to the top of the staircase, which you get to. So you have
Yes.
60 feet. You were, what was it, 40 feet away from the entrance, 15 feet away. So you can get 5 feet down the steps.
Yes?
Um.
Yes. You go
You know,
now.
Dexterity save.
I wasn't, bruh. Alright.
this situation could be worse.
That's statistically unlikely. 17,
So
16, 16.
you
Wait,
start.
is falling down the stairs really that high?
Have you? No. You made it. You're going
Oh.
down the stairs. Good job.
Okay. Yay! But then I just smell Catherine like 50 feet down.
However,
Right.
and no attack was thrown at you, right?
Yeah, I know.
no attack.
Well, let's
But
make
you
it clear
hear
it's
a blood-curdling, inhuman screech down the
That's lit.
corridor that you had just run from, and the screech is suddenly cut off by a much louder grating of crystal on crystal, and and this piercing green light flashes like lightning in an instant from that direction before fading back to black.
Cecil is like, ah, shit, I'm not in Yarnum anymore. He hasn't felt this kind of like primordial fear in a while, so he's kind of like, he's not doing too great. He's hauling it over to Catherine. Is Catherine's the only one who's doing fine as far as he knows?
Great. So you keep going down the steps, and all of a sudden you kind of smell the Batman detective mode path go off the stairs.
Yes, but it's specifically finding Catherine. So is there a sheer drop?
Yes.
All right. Is there any way I could climb down safely?
With one arm?
You're pretty confident in your abilities if you had all of your faculties available to you.
Yeah, with one arm, does this appear to be something real bad?
You can't really see is the problem here.
Damn, dark vision doesn't cut at any time.
Oh, you have dark vision?
Yeah, dog.
Yeah, you can climb down.
Epic.
You know,
Great.
This situation could be worse.
However,
It's true, it could be.
looking
Stop
over.
saying that, or else it was gonna be worse.
Shit. Okay, you can see. I need to describe a little better then.
Yeah.
You were going down the steps that you could see, so much. You didn't. You actually would have had to make that deck save. My bad.
Pack of shit.
This Colosseum is not empty. It is. There is some kind of ritual going on because there's a lot of weird stuff strewn about in a very chaotically ordered way.
Right.
In particular, there's a lot of shadow beasts that are similar to the massive sort of salamander that you basically killed.
Great.
And they're all sort of lounging at different points in this big ritualistic fixture.
Is Catherine just sitting there?
No, there is.
Oh,
Catherine's rolling an animal handling check.
There is a lotus of gemstone at its center, and in the middle of that lotus is sitting Ozitra.
Oh.
You don't know her as Ozitra, but it's a person.
No, but she looks pretty important.
And this was the direction that you were going to be going with Catherine to find Ozitra, so probably. Catherine, how are you trying to calm this big lion thing down?
Okay. Well, I'm going to basically skitter back, throw up my hands, go, easy, easy, I'm a friend. You want some catnip? I'm pretty sure I have some catnip somewhere in this bag.
Is high, good, or bad?
High is still excellent.
You have catnip. It
All
doesn't
right.
seem to care.
Nice.
Nice. Funny 6-9.
I mean, does the 20 count for anything?
The lion sort of... The rumble fades a little bit as you, Cecil, climb down to the same level. What do you do, Cecil?
Wait, what did the lion do? Sorry.
The lion's rumble receded a little bit.
Okay, great. Cecil's kind of in a weird position right now where he could climb down, but he doesn't know if that'll make it any better.
Alright.
Can Cecil see Catherine right now?
Yeah. You see Catherine in front of a lion whose head is as big as she is.
Does Azitra seem to care at all?
Azitra's facing the other direction. Nothing about the ritual seems to have changed with the introduction of your two's presence.
Feasibly speaking, actually no, never mind. Does the staircase go down any further?
Yeah.
Is there a way that you could come up and go down normally
Yeah.
instead of falling? Alright.
Yeah, Catherine fell off the side.
And how much more staircase is there?
Probably, enough to get you down another 25 feet. It's a really big coliseum. It looks like this doesn't get anywhere near the center.
What I was asking is, could Cecil stealth over Catherine, grab Catherine, guide her back upstairs?
She is close enough to the lion that it would be very obvious as soon as she vanishes.
Okay. How big is this lion?
Big enough where Catherine is the size of its head, so the Sanctuary Guardian.
Great. I don't remember, which speedrun do you one-hit the Sanctuary Guardian?
You have disadvantage on your next roll.
That's next roll. You mean attack roll?
Any roll.
Just next roll in general.
You don't have disadvantage. Just don't derail, please.
Oh, what? I'm so confused. Okay, my bad. So Cecil, stealths down the stairs to get a better angle as to what's going on. Sorry. I didn't mean to derail, I was just
It's
confused.
okay.
Like, crouch down, kind of like trying to figure out what the hell is happening.
So it's you feel like you have a pretty good idea of what's going on without having, background knowledge on this ritual / what the Fire family is about / any of this
Alright.
magic fucking gemstone shadowy bullshit. Like these creatures are all sort of... Actually, no. I'm going to say that from up here on the steps, you can see that if you get Catherine a distance away from the lion probably won't be able to follow because the lion is at a place in this big ritual that it can't really, or shouldn't rather, leave. Like, if the lion makes chase, it's going to fuck up whatever Azitra's doing.
Great. Okay, with that in mind, Cecil would attempt to stealth down over to Catherine because he can see her.
Great, stealth. Not with disadvantage.
21?
Yeah, describe how you do this.
So Cecil with like his dragging, like definitely no longer useful left hand in front of him, kind of flopping around with Death in the West perched on his shoulder, kind of like scuttles down the steps and leaps off the last maybe 15 or so, lands in the sand, and like kind of runs over to Catherine, kind of taps her on the shoulder, and is like, "Hey, it's me. Let's go. Come on."
All right, Catherine. All of a sudden, you hear Cecil's voice right next to your ear. You don't even like notice. You don't see him even after you hear his voice and you look over in his direction. It's more blackness.
Alright.
He's asking you to go with him.
I whisper, hang on, I have to talk to Azitra.
It's a fucking lion.
Do you see a woman here somewhere?
Yes,
On
and
the
she
line?
looks very busy. Now let's just go and wait.
Alright, fine.
Run. One of my arms is impaled. Could you? I don't know. Fix this shit.
Alright.
We need to get to a secluded area very quickly because I am losing enough blood to fill a fucking ocean right now.
Let's go to it very quickly.
Okay.
Can you guys whisper talk a little louder?
Okay,
You're not
then let's
hearing
go to an area really quickly.
Yeah, okay, so Cecil kind of like guides Catherine, like puts Death in the West across his shoulders to use his only working hand.
Are the
So,
two
like,
of you
kinda like-
disengaging?
Yes.
Perfect. So, as you move from your place, the lion opens its mouth in a great big yawn, and
Puppy.
and some limbs of like white light kind of like writhe out from between its teeth and scratch at the ground, like where you guys were, and it closes its mouth and they vanish.
Cecil looks terrified.
Cecil, up the stairs, you see several spider-like limbs made of emerald kind of come out of the lobby that led down here and like grip the threshold of the entrance to said lobby.
Alright, not that way. What other ways are there?
There's roll investigation.
Okay. This is scary. I'm enjoying this. 18.
There is a grate that is half visible. It's sort of underneath a mound of sand that is likely obscuring the rest of it, and it is just caked with the smell of human blood.
Alright.
It's coagulated around it.
Does it look at all like the place where the hands came out and grabbed the corpse?
It looks
Yeah,
like
Eric?
a grate, and I'm gonna say recent enough memory. No, not really.
Can I roll medicine to see how safe that would be so we don't get... like that doesn't seem medically okay.
It's coagulated blood, and like you've got enough just soaking down your entire arm that if it's unsafe, it's no less unsafe than the things that want to kill you right now.
Cecil kind of pauses, looks at his options, and then looks at Catherine and is like, how well do you know her?
Well,
Okay, how much does she like you?
I think she thinks of me as sort of her pet. Maybe? She's pretty creepy.
That's honestly, you know what? Yeah, it sounds pretty scuffed. You should just, you know what? Fucking just call for her.
Azitra!
The
Azitra!
lotus of gemstones opens, and wilts as she slowly climbs to her feet and turns her head in your direction, Cecil.
In my direction?
Yeah, you guys are
not.
You guys are
not,
like
oh, yeah, yeah.
a good 200 feet away.
Great.
So it's both of your direction.
Yeah, so Cecil's kind of just like standing there awkwardly, like a McDonald's person who hasn't gotten the order yet at like the drive-thru. And it's just like kind of waiting for Catherine to take it. Just like, you got her attention.
Azitra, I have to talk to you about the privilege match going on tomorrow.
She very delicately descends the wilted petals of the crystal lotus and begins making her way over to the two of you.
Good. Okay.
And as soon as she gets within kind of a slightly like she gets within talking distance, and then she keeps approaching until she's like 1 or 2 feet away, kind of uncomfortably close.
Yeah.
And she cranes her neck down because she's very tall. She's over 7 feet. And she very closely studies each of you before smiling. And we switch to the rest of the party. Jesus fucking Christ. That took so long.
Sorry,
Terrifying.
Yeah.
All around.
Play skip. Time cop on the run. Alright. Where did we even leave off with you guys? Because I don't fucking remember.
Well, I do. Sintra fucking woke up after a medical procedure
the
and
bullshit.
called himself a Braxy, and Virgil swore and is like swinging his tonsils, and Amalia's holding him back. And I like to think that even though Amalia has like literally double his strength, it still takes some effort.
Yep.
Because he's just like,
Yeah, I got you. So Sentra kind of like clambers back, and in so doing kind of winces as the pain of the wounds that were just mended kind of is sent like a shock down his spine, and he grimaces at the two of you and is like, "What are you doing? Why is he attacking me?" He asks specifically you, Amalia.
Well, that's they're asking why he does anything.
carve you up and science you out, you son of son of a. Oh dear.
Just to double check. Who am I speaking to right now?
What do you mean? We were just down in the caves.
Great.
What?
Buena. So just let you know, about 5 seconds ago you were saying you were someone else entirely.
He shakes his head just barely slightly as he looks at you incredulously. He's like, "No, I told you my name was Sentra."
Yeah, this was before this. If the last thing you remember is being down the cave, look around. Does this look like a cave to you?
I mean, I assumed I lost consciousness when you started to drag me up here.
Yeah, you did lose consciousness. You remember the mushrooms?
He takes a deep inhale and closes his eyes and then slowly lets it out, and he says, "Yes, I remember the tube tour."
Is that what they're called? So it's like pin that for later. So before this, you were speaking as if you were
No,
someone.
listen. He holds up a finger. I think you say I talked as if in a different voice.
You were calling yourself a Braxy, and I'm going to fucking murder every damn mushroom I see. Son of a
Tube
bitch,
Tours
motherfucking-
subsists off of intelligent prey, and it lures them by getting into their minds and... Hey Tiffany! Can you be tickled in your room, please? I'm playing Dungeons and Dragons, so... Thanks!
Hi, Tiffany.
Carol says hi.
Hi, Tiffany.
Tiffany says hi back.
Yay.
So Sentra kind of holds his hands up in the alien's gesture, and he says, they get in your brain, and they use the information that you have in your memories to fuck with you, to lure you places. I don't have any recollection of an Abraxas outside. Wait a minute, where do I know that name from? And he looks down in contemplation. Either way, it's just a trick. It's nothing meaningful. I've dealt with tube tours before. I've killed them. The Goronja say that they drive people mad. They don't. They just, you know, they make everyone around them crazy enough to think that the person talking sense is going crazy for a little bit, and then when the high wears off, then everything's back to normal. Where do I know that name from? He looks down again.
Yeah, so... Great hypothesis. There's just one little problem with that. You were saying this after you got out. After I burned literally every remnant of a mountain. Apart from the ones that were still inside your head.
Which I doctored on.
That doesn't necessarily mean the effects of the hide had worn off. It's chemical alterations.
But he heard it as well, so why would we have the same hallucination?
He furrows his brow. Roll persuasion. Yeah, his eyes slowly close, his brow remains furrowed. And when they open, he's looking off in another direction, doing the thinking emoji. I am remiss to investigate anything that is particularly mental, an issue like this is, chalking that up to aspects of a tube tour that I merely haven't run into yet. I am, however, willing to accept the benefit of the doubt, and if there's anything you'd like my help investigating, I will assist to that end.
I think that I might have a hypothesis.
Can we act on it right now? Because there are some other pressing issues to get to. And he gestures to the large, very slowly rotting organ, and the big fog fur, the gorilla sloth that's in the background. By the way, where did that come from?
I keep forgetting that you brought a sloth back. Why did you bring a sloth back?
Well, he just kind of kidnapped me after I told him hi, so... I was gonna, use the organs for a truth serum, but I saw what he can do, and I'm not fucking with that.
Maybe, you say you burned it all away, Amalia?
Yes.
I don't know much about botany. He looks at you, Virgil. But maybe something with mind-altering effects would give you some fruits into research on such a thing. Why do you want a truth serum anyways?
various reasons, and really there's also a bit of a, suggestion more so there too. You gotta calm the patients down and stuff.
I'm going to choose to believe that you just want it as an alternative to torture. And he looks back at Amalia. So.
I'm a good doctor, I promise.
He looks down. How long has it been since I was out?
Well, let me think. We were down in the cave, I needed 10 minutes to draw a circle. However long it took you to do surgery on him. A little under an hour?
Great, so we aren't necessarily pressed for time. I think... never mind. He starts to get up and then sits back down as he sort of nurtures his injuries. Could one of you climb a tree and see how close we are to the end of the month by looking at the moon? My best guess is roughly a couple of weeks, but I'd have to see it.
Virgil glances at Amalia and gestures towards a tree. Go on, sailor.
You're a cat person.
Yes, but I'm a civilized cat person. I have clocks back home.
If you want to just be carrying around a pocket watch, you can. And it can have like the day of the month on it.
Yeah, not nearly as fun.
Amalia just like reaches into her top pocket and pulls out a watch.
I'm gonna say that it is the 18th by Canadian standards, which, whatever calendar that Kanan uses, hopefully it mirrors the turn of the moon that the Fire family observes.
Well, it's the 18th by Canadian standards, so that would make it... Amalia glances to Virgil.
About halfway through the month, yes. Little over.
I'm waiting for you to jump in because I don't know what the calendar that Nazareth uses says.
Okay, what calendar
Roll
does
history.
bullshit place?
Yeah, roll history.
You.
What? Do you think that...
3
what?
money. It uses 3 money. Just watch. No.
So the Fire family in specific are very spiritual, and it's very unlikely that they use like tangible mathematics to they're all nutcases, and when the moon is full, it's full. Picture of Mr. Incredible slamming down the table. So,
well,
the Canadian calendar, while it roughly adheres to the cycles of the moon, it's not exact, and it might be better just as an idea to go physically look at the moon now that you have the knowledge that it is at the very least waxing.
well, to put it simple, when the moon is full, it's full, they say. They're very spiritual, not so much mathematical.
At least the Fire family is, not the whole of Nazareth.
Well, the Fire family, at any rate. I mean, for all I fucking know, Nazareth as a whole could have 5 different fucking calendars. How many fucking districts are there? It's all a jumbled up mess. What we need is one unified calendar for the whole damn world. That's what we need.
Great.
Sentry sort of Centra nods at you, Virgil, and just for the sake of this joke, he says, "Yeah, there was a fella back up in the Bastio district who was working on that. Called himself Gregory."
I want to say something really quick. You know, Virgil looks over this like, put it simply, the DM is being cryptic.
Okay.
Great.
To put it simply, the DM's making you guys climb a tree because maybe there's some other information I want to give you.
Yeah. So the
Clearly.
reason I want you to climb the tree is that I believe both that you are the best suited for this particular task, and that if I climb the tree, you will be out of my sight for long enough to try and attempt surgery on Sentra, and then he will kill you. I will.
Sentra's
about
face
that.
pales.
What? Don't be ridiculous, he says as he starts climbing a tree out of fear of Amalia.
Do you want to just like go get on the fog fur and try to get it to climb a tree?
Yeah, let's use our buddy.
All right, roll animal handling.
Should have climbed the tree normally.
It happily assists you in getting on its shoulder, and then it raises one of its massive, eviscerating claws, and it puts it like about 2 feet away from your face. It's asking for a high five.
Monkey.
It goes happily, and it just kind
I
of like
love you.
nudges you with the side of its head affectionately, and it begins to just like traverse vertically, and it's going.
Hell yeah.
Anything you want to do down here while he's gone, Amalia?
Yeah. So, what she is going to do is, he's up here. She's going to take out the sample of the mushrooms that she obtained.
Okay.
And she's going to pass that over to Sentra, and then she's going to say, alright, while he's out of sight, these are the mush. This is the only sample of the mushroom that I could obtain. And I would like you to hold it so that he doesn't get it, because the idea of him having the power to make people do stuff is frankly terrifying.
Sentra kind of looks at you chastisingly and says, "Why are you keeping information from your comrades?"
You haven't met comrades.
Amalia just sort of
Because my comrades are fucking nuts.
blank stares at him for a second. And then she's going to, yeah, that was just that was a funny. Oh, okay. Sorry.
He
Still
sort of reaches out and snatches the bag away from you and says, "Would you trust him to save your life if you were comatose?"
How comatose am I in this scenario?
I like how there's.
Your survival hinges on his actions.
Flip a coin.
I'm gonna roll insight on myself.
Okay. Well, that's technically PvP, so you can decide whether it works.
Surgeon.
So, as he says that, Mahalia is just going to sigh. She's going to say, sometimes you don't get to work with the things that you want to work. Sometimes you have to make do with what you have. You trust, but you verify. And if it came down to a scenario where I had no choice but to trust Virgil, in my heart of hearts,
I would like for him to do the right thing.
And if the positions were switched,
I do not think he is there.
and in his shoes you would protect him?
While he's under my flag, yes.
He his sort of combative expression softens considerably, and he sort of sighs to himself before saying, "You raise a good point."
My dogs didn't like that answer, apparently.
He takes out the bag of mushrooms and looks at it before saying, "Is there anything you wish to discuss with him out of earshot?"
Yeah. So, the guy whose voice came out of your head, we've encountered him before, and he had some kind of fungus in his brain as well.
He starts nodding, and his
So
eyes begin to widen a little as you're talking. Continue.
So I am wondering, these mushrooms be part of some kind of greater hive mind?
Amalia, what did I tell you about my involvement with that other place?
Eden, so you the mushroom.
He sort of winces as you say the word.
Sorry, with the other place, yeah. Another thing, the guy has been killed several times.
He sort of holds his head in both hands, dropping the little baggie. Wait, hold on, stop. There's too much. Some bits and pieces are coming back. Can you say his name again?
His name is Abraxi.
And with that, a shudder runs down visibly Sentra's spine, and his mouth it opens agape just a little bit as he just sort of vacantly looks off into nothing. And a couple of seconds pass before a trickle of blood runs out of his ear, and he coughs twice in succession before saying, "Oh God."
What is this Manchurian candidate bullshit?
Okay,
I love it.
I need less. Be careful what you say around me. However, there is definitely a correlative between this individual and the other place. If you learn things, don't share them so freely with me. His hand comes up and presses to the liquid that had run just a couple drops down his neck, and he looks at it and rubs it between his thumb and fingers. I don't know what this is doing me, but it doesn't want me back.
It's not ominous at all.
Roll insight.
I was going to say I'm going to roll Arcana on
Sure,
this.
yeah, roll Arcana.
What about it?
You feel compelled. Do you want? This is gonna be a weird question because you got a 25, but do you want to surge that?
Oh shit! Surge it, surge it, surge
Does
it,
this,
surge it,
Is
surge
this
it.
does this count as a verbal skill check?
No.
Okay, sure.
This guy doesn't shut up. Nice. Okay. The DC I wanted you to beat was 30, and I thought you would have had to crit to get it. So great job. So your eyes, from Sentra's point of view, both gloss over perfectly white as you see Abraxy, but not as you know him.
It's Abraxy, but not as we know it.
And before you can really parse together the details of the pure chaos in front of you, before you can make anything visually, your vision returns. However, you are sure of one thing, and that is that Abraxy, whatever he is a denizen.
Ooh.
I knew it.
Ooh. Oh,
I have a theory. But I have to share it later.
a game
when
theory.
we're alone, quote unquote. It's a good theory, and that only helps further it. Because I was thinking along those tracks.
I'm gonna say roll a follow-up insight check.
Oh,
Great. Probably you know more about Abraxy than he does right now. And by he, I mean Abraxy, not Sentra. Like, Sentra's a very, Abraxy's a very genuine amnesiac.
I guess we gotta kill Abraxy 100 more times.
Abraxy is currently
I'm
in new
down
game
for
plus
it.
3.
Wait,
Gives
does
us-
that mean... Sorry.
Ah, well. Alright then.
Sentra
I'll,
kind of looks for something to wash up the blood and gets like a napkin-like thing or a handkerchief and just...
Surviving.
Oh, where's my other chakra? In fact, where's both of them?
One's in the roof of the cave,
Oh,
and
you
the
couldn't carry them.
wall.
Oh, God. Oh.
I mean, we can hop right back.
No, we better not. Chip cheers, or at least, their colonies are incredibly expansive. And quite interconnected. If you killed it as completely as you say you did, others will be investigating the absence. And that's not any shit that I want to get involved with in my current state. Do you have maybe a stand-in weapon I could borrow?
Gives them the materia that causes ocean death.
I'm actually a pretty good shot.
Yeah, okay. So Amalia will just hand him the transforming rapier slash flint hook.
All right, he takes it in his hand, and then his arm starts to dismantle mechanically, and it sort of assimilates the weapon and collapses it before his arm re-becomes what it was.
Wow.
Yeah, that is a hell of a neat trick.
I do a good job hiding the fact that I am an Arium. Lots of paint. He knocks on his forearm, and you hear the hollowness of metal.
Yeah.
In fact, I guess you've seen him pretty wounded, so this isn't the first time you've seen that, yeah, a lot of the sort of fleshiness is, I guess, artificial, but a lot of it is organic. Most of it is. It's mostly his right arm that's mechanical, and his left leg, like from halfway down the shin to his foot.
Yeah. Then. So, do you want to go back to Sloth team?
Great. Virgil.
Yo.
You breach the canopy. And, the tiered gardens look different. The tiered gardens used to look like this. Yeah? Yeah, like this little structure.
Yeah.
And they were resting on 4 massive pillars of stone rising from the jungle. Yeah. Well, the thing on top of the 4 pillars rising from the jungle looks to have opened up and out like a blossoming flower. As
terrifying.
It is now almost 3 times as large, and it looks more like it's coming out and into this kind of shape with some smaller protrusions in between, and just a spiral coming out of the center.
Well, that's definitely worth noting.
It's all made of stone. However, you do see the glint of some gemstone being refracted in the moonlight. The moon is approaching waxing gibbous. Roll some kind of check that has to do with astrology.
Arcana, probably.
It could be Arcana.
No,
it could be...
astrology would.
I would let you do it with anything.
Intelligence?
Anything with intelligence or wisdom. So if you have like wisdom or intelligence checks that you have like a proficiency modifier in and can justify them, then I'll let you use those.
Give me 5 seconds. I have to put this bread in the oven.
No problem.
Timer. 6 minutes. Probably doesn't need that since I accidentally left it out, so it'll fall.
Were
but
you guys worried
whatever.
that Centro was just permanently Abraxy?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
We don't trust me with our children.
I like Centra enough that I wouldn't just do him away like that.
Wouldn't that be
Not
wild?
to me, but it's still enough to give me an idea about it anyways, that I'm still gonna go through with, because I spent like a day thinking about this. I have a lot of time to ruminate, okay?
There is a portion of me that still doesn't quite trust you. I think that you're gonna kill Sintra and use that as a red herring to make us not see it coming.
Let's see.
What a mysterious Joko.
Wouldn't nature be hella applicable?
Yeah, nature would be super applicable. But you could also justify religion or history or arcana. Like, that's why I'm saying, like, you know, what fits Virgil.
Animal handling.
Hey, if the moon's an animal, you hit it on the head.
I believe the moon is a creature.
Well, I can't use his really bonk numbers, so...
Medicine.
Right? I will medicine the moon!
I'm gonna pick one for you.
Actually, depending on how out there he is, like...
No, yeah,
there
you could justify it with medicine.
Yeah,
Like,
because...
this is
Please
like
just pick one.
There are, you know, medicinal bullshit that, you know, oh hey, fucking imbibe this while under the moonlight and doing the chicken dance, and it has to be a full moon and blah 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 blah. Does that sound good enough?
I don't believe you.
I've heard some shit like it, I promise.
Make a dexterity check.
Why? Is a rock gonna fall on my head?
The moon.
Yeah, we're going Majora's Mask on this.
Oh no. So when the moon reaches, so basically you've got about 4 days. The calendar
what?
until the full moon.
Oh.
Which is very likely the turn of the month for the Fire family. The moon, but not only that. So you've got 4 days exactly, right? You're just like, oh yeah. You look at the moon, you're like, yeah, that shape, 4 days, easy, fucking easy peasy. Looks at the camera, fuck you, DM. I know this perfectly. However, in looking at the stars and the celestial space, you become very achingly, yawningly aware of another presence in the heavens. The Grand Pavos. An emptiness through which stars disappear. A perfectly black vacancy in the sky that is going to converge with the moon perfectly when it reaches its full state.
Hey, you should go talk to our heretic buddy.
And as you see this, Virgil, you feel a tug on your wrist. Not you, Cecil.
Okay.
Which hand is the cord on, Cecil?
It's his right hand.
You feel a tug on your right wrist, Virgil. Just slight. And it pulls in the vague direction of the Eshivai district.
Yeah.
And then you look out over the canopy and you see the great river running out of this cliff face. You see the cavernous depths it descends to as it travels underground and feeds countless reservoirs. And you know primordially that it leads to the Eshivai district. You feel a yearning for it.
That's disturbing.
The Fogfur kind of howls a little bit and scratches its butt.
Well.
And you climb back down.
That's disconcerting.
You climb back down. Amalia, you see, well, rather you hear first the massive sloth deposit Virgil. As it's climbing down, it lounges over up against the hull of the black flight and curls up and starts to go to sleep. Sentra, his eyes never really leave you, Virgil, as he watches you with equal parts wariness and an interest before saying, "What are your findings?"
Well, other than some spooky dooky bullshit, we have 4 days.
Spooky dooky bullshit?
Spooky dooky bullshit.
4 days? That's much less time than I thought.
Yep. But that's when they believe that the end of the month is nigh, so that's what we've got.
No, that doesn't make any sense. I distinctly remember 5 days prior to now, it was a crescent. It should only be waxing half.
How's the moon been progressing while the sun's been gone?
Well, the sun didn't rise for, what, 2 days? Usually it has no bearing on the moon.
Yeah, well, usually...
Wait.
Moon.
And he's gonna roll his Arcana check. Wow, he got pretty good. Maybe something special is being done. maybe some freaky deaky, spooky dooky magic. He locks eyes with Virgil. What exactly was spooky dooky when you were up there?
Well, there's a bit of a tug of war that wants me to head towards the Eshvi district, as much as I definitely don't want to go back there. There's, but that's probably nothing. There's the grand perverse, an emptiness, the stars disappearing, that big empty space. It's probably going to converge on the moon when it reaches its full state, so...
Yeah, this is starting to reek of meddling.
Yeah, I blame the Tenebrae too.
So if we've got Tenebrae, I was going to say the goddamn Arcasans.
They're probably working in tandem.
He stretches... God, this hurts. Either way, if time is so short, then we, at the very least, should be expecting an auditor at some point very soon. To replace the one that was killed by me.
Yep.
Which means that we need to get our affairs in order. Are we... He looks between you two and Albus. We have masks to construct.
And
I have a dance to teach you.
Dios mío.
So,
dancing.
You guys essentially have downtime. How would you like to spend it?
I would like to finish my research on the sword.
So you're just gonna say fuck it to the mask and the dance?
And won't you look silly when you don't know how to dance with your dangling dummy from the ceiling?
I mean, first off, Maya wouldn't have dropped from the ceiling.
You have brought
No.
I'm... So we have to have this mask and this dance learned, but that could count against what the downtime that we have then.
Yeah. Well, you don't have to. You could just...
Well, we could not, but let's say we want to play it safely. How long do you think it would take versus how much downtime we have?
Yeah, ask Concentra.
Is there a telling? Sure, why not?
Alright,
How long do you think this will take?
He says, well, I've known it since I began residing here. It was taught to me by the Goronja that come and go between their settlements in Cherville, the ones that have participated in the fiery mass over the tiered gardens. I don't remember quite how long it took for me to learn it, but I think it would definitely take a while, seeing as how I would have to verbally instruct you. I am in no state to really give you examples myself. He kind of looks.
Virgil pulls out a syringe. I can fix that.
I would like to let my body heal naturally.
Pah. That's what the anti-vaxxers say.
You already treated me. Are you saying that you didn't treat me fully?
I'm saying I can further enhance your medicinal recuperation.
You're saying that you can jumpstart my muscular capability, possibly damaging my body from overexertion in so doing, so that we can accomplish this sooner.
Yes.
Well, persuasion.
You are.
Give me a second.
What's that, Amalia?
You are a bad doctor.
Imagine offering an athlete steroids, and then when they're like, no thanks, you're like, anti-vaxxer.
Like, yeah, to you, Virgil, the Hippocratic Oath was more of a Hippocratic suggestion, wasn't it?
He sighs.
A little bit.
He sighs deeply and just squints his eyes shut and holds out his arm.
Haha.
Do you have the right serum for this?
I actually might not.
This would be the strength one.
Let's see.
I mean, you could give him the cocaine and hope for the best, but strength one would be particularly apt.
I was also kind of thinking the mending serum because he's got those wounds.
Read the mending
and
serum
that could
again.
jumpstart it. It is. Nina, stop licking my arm.
Oh yeah, no, you already used that on him. This is the long rest that he's healing the wounds over.
Well, a long rest is only 8 hours.
Yeah, so he could teach it tomorrow. There's a chance, he's positing the chance that an auditor could come for you tomorrow because it's so close to the deadline.
Well, I don't have the strength serum otherwise, so I'll be right back with the fork.
No problem. So you're still gonna work on the sword?
Well, if there's a chance that they'll be coming tomorrow, then that's a different matter entirely. So Amalia's looking at this going on. It's like, you know what? I'm gonna leave you guys to it, and I think I will go and make masks or something.
You just want them to be wooden and in the likeness of some manner of creature. They should cover your mouth and nose and forehead, but leave your eyes open. Your eyes are the windows.
What about the one we gained from winning the wrestling contest, basically? Couldn't those apply?
If you bring a Goronja mask to the fiery mass, you're going to be burned.
Got it.
Alright, if there's a thing that I know, it's masks.
Alright, so you're making some animal-flavored luchador masks?
Of course.
Perfect. What animal do you make, and how many are you making?
So obviously there's going to be 3. Four. Albus is here as well.
Oh, I thought you meant the 4%.
Eh?
Don't worry about it.
So I'm presuming the sloth doesn't. And the sloth is already an animal. So yeah. I guess she's gonna make one's a rabbit, one's a wolf.
Virgil's a cat.
Eh?
Virgil is a cat.
Virgil is a cat, yes. So
A wolf, cat, rabbit.
K-face. And hers is going to be a hawk.
Nice. So your background in luchador masks, Centra does his best to like advise you on things, but you're kind of already of a mind. You get all of these done in like an hour. And he's looking on a little incredulously at their quality. Like, damn, good job.
In Canaan, we wear these for Lucha Libre.
I've been in command for so many years and I still don't. I have never seen them.
you are missing out.
Clearly.
Alright. As for the dances, he looks at you, Virgil. Are you gonna...
Virgil kind of pouts a little. I don't have the right one.
You could try cocaine.
How dexterous do you feel right now?
Dexterous?
Yes.
He looks at his hands, curls his fingers in and out, in and out. A little slow, actually.
I can help with that.
Is this going to... I'll be physically demonstrating then?
Well, a dance is a pretty dexterous thing. There's a bunch of movement around. I wouldn't exactly call it.
He nods and he is going to defer to you, which is his big mistake here. Alright.
Jab.
So, he stands, and he's gonna start with you first, Virgil. Amalia, he looks to you and says, give me... Well, if we want to sleep, I suppose I'll spend 3 hours with each of you.
Sure. Just looks around. I don't really have a guitar, so you're gonna have to write your own music.
Plot twist. Centra is an amazing beatboxer.
So he looks towards the fog fur, and the fog fur opens a single eye before sitting up and straightening his fur, collecting himself, rubbing his hands together, and pulling out a tiny to scale piano, and begins playing this. With the tips.
I love you, Virgil just straight up says. This thing is the best thing I've ever known.
I have no idea where he got that. Don't ask me. Don't ask him. He can't talk. Where did that come from? Maybe he looks at Amalia. We're probably still hallucinating from the mushrooms. It's okay. Anyways, he gets up and he looks like he winces in a little bit of pain, but he takes both of your hands, Virgil, and he starts to walk you through a very intricate dance. And he does so positioning you just out of earshot of Amalia. You know, to make sure he doesn't disturb her sleep. Looks at camera. After he feels he doesn't need to verbally instruct you and you can sort of just practice well enough by following his movements, he says quietly, I have a concern.
Don't we all?
Listen, my affiliation with the other place, it was something I'd all but forgotten about. Something I chalked up to a dream of my childhood that I would be able to leave in the past. And it has come knocking.
Yeah, I've found that the past can be quite haunting. He glares over in the direction of the tiered gardens where Cecil went.
I would simply like you to know that I'll not run from it. And I don't think that I have as much perspective as I'd like to have. Part of me wishes that I was one of you. That I was traversing the place like I did in my youth. That I could share some of the burden. That I could help. But I'm left instead to do my best from the outside to pick up the pieces that you can't get to while focusing on the larger things. So I want you to know that if there's anything you want me to handle, don't hesitate to ask.
Your help is most appreciated.
Sorry, what did you say? I didn't mean to interrupt.
Your help is most appreciated.
It feels a little weird, Virgil, dancing with somebody who's shorter than you. But he smiles softly and says,
"Oh, hi.
I will do my best. Just be careful what you mention. Certain phrases, if they get too exact, they can have an effect on me."
Well, we knew that with Mead, of course.
And the two...
But
sorry, what?
If we keep it vague, and if you remember just enough to help, it'll work. This will all work out. Especially with her leading.
Roll persuasion.
Sure. I'm gonna re-roll that. That's better.
You want to exert yourself?
Yes, I want to exert.
Alright, 17. Looks like you get the message across, and he sort of continues, just solidifying the dance into your muscle memory for the rest of the allotted 3 hours before moving to Albus. Is there any scene you want, Albus? Because he does have a few words to say to you, but I don't know how involved you want to be. Oh, there goes Yarath. What are you doing for the 6 hours before he gets to you, Amalia?
Working on the sword.
Alright, roll Arcana. In fact, if you're working on it for all 6 hours, you can roll with advantage.
Sure.
So, do you have a clock associated with this?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was half built.
Alright, and it was a 4-step, right?
Yeah.
It is completed. You, funnily enough, you don't learn specifically the true word for unlock. However, you're able to dismantle the magic that is bound in the the lock rune that is etched into its flat. And in so doing, you get a vision, and it is of Inserafid crawling through undergrowth of some kind of shrubbery. You get the sense that this is current. This is not in the past. And he is wounded, but he is also carrying somebody else. A person you don't recognize. And you can't see any weapons on him. He's wearing largely a different set of equipment than the last time you saw him. And it looks like he's still nursing the wound that he had on the hilltop back in the Cherus district. At last, he emerges out into a small, into a little cove underground, and he rests up against the wall with trickle of water leading from a crack in the cavern roof down into a small little pond. He reclines and he takes a deep breath of relief before very quickly falling to sleep. And the other person, who you can now see as a woman, sort of nestles in closely to him for warmth. And then it ends. And there's two stark lines, as if carved in the blade in the same fashion that the true words were, going through the true word for lock. And you have the impulse to turn it on for a second.
Okay. Alright.
You turn it on, and instead of being a radial illumination, it looks basically exactly like the clairvoyance spell from Skyrim, and it leads off into the jungle. The lock sigil has turned into the path sigil.
Great. Okay, so Amalia's gonna stand up. So dust herself down. She's gonna look over to where there two are doing their dance lessons. She's gonna yell, "Guys, the magic sword has a vision quest for me. I'm gonna follow it."
Don't die!
I have a I have a teleportation circle here, so if shit gets bad, I'll just teleport back.
Seriously, don't die.
So by the time you finish this, it's getting to your turn. This took most of the 6 hours. Welcome back, Yaroth. Do you want a dance lesson scene, or do you not care?
Yeah, nope.
Eric?
Did you hear me?
He said dance lesson.
Oh, I didn't hear him. What?
That wasn't my ass.
Oh, there it is. Okay, I can hear you now.
Oh, see?
I
We're
couldn't.
disconnecting all that.
I couldn't at all. It was definitely on my end. I had you down at 7%, God knows why, instead of 200. So, after moving on from Virgil, Centra sort of gives you a hard look as he begins instructing you on the right opening moves to make, and he says, "You know, you kind of give me some memories of where I came from, having little to say in the form of opinions, but really, I get the sense that you're not afraid to act when you need to."
So, what now?
Well, I think we wait for the auditor and we go peacefully, and hopefully we can salvage whatever vestiges of your group remain. I don't have the highest hopes for Cecil, I'll admit, nor Catherine, really, but I also don't know what you should expect if you lose them. I only had one person with me when I was connected to the other place, and we never lost one another. I can't imagine it's a happy thing, though.
Speaking of,
No, Calliope cannot haunt Amalia.
no, that's not what I was gonna say. All I was curious about is We left off at a Zitra staring at us intently.
Yep.
I'm very interested.
Yeah, well, don't be rude. Eric's going through something with Yarth.
No. I was just saying is that like I find like I like to imagine that it's just paused there, and so every so often there's just a smash cut to a perfect still of just like a Zitra looking at them.
I hope Cecil's okay, but I'm not sure if that's realistic. Just smash cut to Cecil, like in a camera
That's
feed
what I
with
was
a gun held to
Yeah.
his head, holding a sign that says "Help me" up to a shitty saw camera.
Yeah. He's got one of those like camcorders. He's just like, fuck.
So, anyways, Yaroff, anything to say to that?
What is it, Pie? Yeah, my Pie, my Piddles, my beautiful girl. Piddles!
He's outgunned, outmanned, but at least he has 0 health points and an ally who abandoned him at the first sign of trouble.
Yeah, lucky. Ally, my ass.
Well, as always, I would say he'll be fine.
Sandra kind of takes a deep inhale through his nose and nods agreement. That was what Virgil also thinks. I admire your group, if only for your confidence. And he gives you a small smile, and also your ability to kill things in the woods. Specifically your friend. He's very good at that.
Specifically killing your friend in the woods.
Killing.
I did happen to notice in some of your tinkering, you happen to have a little bit of a basis in electromancy. He looks concerned when he says this. That's a very closely guarded secret. And I won't tell, but you should be careful who sees which of your inventions. You might get the arbiters of the Bastio district on your tail if the wrong eyes see the wrong things.
Well, it's a good thing most of my stuff is not yet in the adult level.
Yes, Pie!
He nods.
Pie!
Well, you seem to be really getting the hang of the third step in particular, which is the most difficult, so good job. I'll chalk it up to Cat's agility instead of being jealous. He gives you a little bit of a friendly smile before saying, I suppose I'll see to Amalia. I appreciated the words. He nods to you and then turns and approaches you, Amalia, and then you talk about the path and anything else you wanted to say?
Out of character.
Out of character what?
Out of character. Yeah. What happened to the foresting? Did we do that? I mean, did I complete that?
What happened to the big
The
sloth
water,
guy?
The water stuff. Yeah, the water stuff, the eating, and
yeah. So what happened to that? So it was a big thing. Centra and Amalia were looking for a big underground reservoir, and you and Virgil found the big sloth at a nest. And the big body of water that Centra and Amalia found was contaminated and being used as a food source by a Tuptir, which fucked with them and basically sort of tried to make them fight each other, but Amalia dispatched it with a bunch of fire. And that was an unusable fuel source because it also burned away the contaminated water. However, when you and Virgil woke up the sloth without attacking it, it sort of just took you around its little habitat, like where it goes to on a day-by-day basis on whatever whims it had, and you found a massive underground watering hole that a bunch of other herbivores collect at. So you know where a very large reservoir underground is, and it's much closer than than you had feared the nearest one would be. So it's very usable. As for the power source of the refrigerator that you're going to make around the heart. Like, you should be able to have that invention done up in probably like a long rest or two.
Yeah, I'm expecting 2 long rests. More.
Which is great because it seems like that's about it.
Last time it was 3 days, you said, and we're on the first.
Yeah, so because it's so close, you don't need to make as complicated a cooling transit system. So you don't need nearly as much like tubing or hosing. You can basically just make it like right smack where the black flight is instead of trucking things around places, which is why it's shortened. That said, you do still need a fair amount of metal, but it should be really easy to salvage what you need off of the ruins of the ship. Like, there's enough scrap that wouldn't be salvaged for any other use to just, like as far as materials go, you're set.
Oh yeah, it's just time that has to pass.
And the auditor's coming tomorrow. Maybe, maybe not. So, Amalia. Sendra's not very talkative while he's teaching you the different steps.
Am I not following the magic vision quest?
Oh, you don't want to learn the dance?
Well, alright. Do I think that if I do not follow this magical light just at this very moment, there will be another opportunity?
Yeah, this is kind of a... Like, this is what happens whenever you use the light, and theoretically, like, if you move to a different location, it's still the clairvoyance spell. It's just, it reroutes based off of your current position. Roll insight to see how urgent you think it is. You're not sure what it is, but your gut instinct tells you that this path of light is not related to the vision you had of Inserafid. It's more in unlocking another rune. You learned that this sword is intrinsically entwined with his soul, and in so doing, you were given a flash of like his existence. But this path of light probably is a path that he followed once. Or at least it leads to a destination that's important to him.
It's going back to the ruin they stole it from in the first place.
It goes... So, you're currently on Google Maps, and the estimated time of arrival is like 362 days. No, it's a thing you can do on your own time. It's not urgent. Is your best guess with a 21 insight.
Alright, fine, let's learn dancing.
Yep, so Sendra's not very talkative. Most of his concerns he voiced while Virgil was gone. Anything you want to bring up?
Yeah, what kind of dance is this? Because,
it is
like,
similar to a ballroom dance, except it's much slower paced and doesn't involve as much contact with the other person.
Ooh.
There's a little bit of ballet in there.
Molly might actually have trouble with that because all of her dances are
body throwing people.
Big and well, flamboyant. Like she would be doing like Spanish dancing.
Oh yeah, of course, the classic Mikode stuff. He will say that, you'll definitely stand out, but those masks will absolutely work for our intentions. Good job having those ready so fast.
Like I said,
When we wrestle in Canaan, we wear masks.
Why?
Because it is a mark of honor. The greatest dishonor is when your defeated opponent takes the mask.
Do you have to make another one?
It depends.
Oh,
Sometimes
do you have to win it back?
you have to win it back. It mostly depends on the storyline.
The what?
Never mind. I don't have time to explain what kayfabe is.
We've been practicing this for 2 hours.
I love this so much.
I really do not have the time to explain what kayfabe is. Trust me. We do not have hours.
So, as you're getting to the last hour, you can tell that he's really straining himself, and he's probably in a lot of pain, but he's determined to get through it. Whatever drugs Virgil gave him are basically doing nothing at this point.
God damn you, Virgil, and your placebos.
It was just a sugar tablet.
Sorry, what?
I mean, in fairness, it wears off after an hour.
Why isn't your crystal meth pure?
He mixed it with chili powder.
Virgil and Albus, is there anything in particular you guys want to be working on for the 6 hours that you're not being taught how to dance?
Jesus, 6 hours of dancing. That sounds like a good time.
You know, I kind of want to do my suggestive serum clock stuff, but I also kind of really want to get buddy-buddy with the sloth, because I'm in love with him.
Okay, so you go over to the sloth who has been playing the same song for 6 hours.
Monk.
Sorry, 3 hours. By the time... Oh no, yeah, 6 hours, because it was you and then Albus. Oh no, 3 hours, yeah. So you just go right after your lessons. And he is... Like, the fact that he's playing this song is a little incredulous. And you rub your...
How are you doing that?
You just kind of like reach up and you rub your hands in your eyes, and the sloth is still asleep. He didn't actually do what I said he's doing, but the music is still playing in your head, and there's still a little like vestige of a piano there, except it's being played by an echo. A shadowy existence, a small humanoid, sitting at an unseeable bench.
Virgil looks at the sloth, looks at the echo, back at the sloth. Hello? Looks back at the echo.
The sloth snores and adjusts itself slightly. The echo exists partially inside of the sloth, as if they're taking up the same space.
Did you just say the gecko exists partially inside of the sloth?
The echo.
Echo.
It is.
Oh.
Echo. Echo.
You know how
Echo.
like sometimes things will clip through other things in video games? The echo is clipping through the sloth slightly, as is the instrument.
Okay, no geckos.
That is so cool.
The sloth is the warrior.
Roll perception, or investigation, or something like that.
My investigation is 3 better than my is 2 better than my perception, so hey, look at that.
You squint and focus as hard as you can on the echo, and it looks like a timekeeper.
You know, this probably isn't a good thing.
It looks at you, and you swear it smiles, but you can't be sure, as instead of seeing the coherent like outline and like personage that the timekeeper is, it's a swirling, shadowy facsimile of it. Perhaps if you were in Eden, you would see it more clearly.
Huh. Well, I'm certainly not going to take a nap all by myself.
It shakes its head understandingly.
But that's very interesting. Very, very interesting. Are you his echo?
It sort of half of the song stops playing as it gestures to the sloth but keeps going with the other hand.
Yes.
It shakes its head.
Huh. That would have been really cool, but it's fine. Still, this is definitely concerning because there's some boundaries that bled, and the last time this happened, the whole city kind of flooded.
And it could happen again.
So we're getting close to the end of the session. So I'm going to switch back to Cecil and Catherine. You two are standing in front of Azitra. And just as a reminder, she is looking down upon you, sort of in a matronly light.
Ah, Azitra, there's been a misunderstanding.
She holds up a finger. No, it's good that you're here.
No. I'm here to talk to you about a misunderstanding.
Her face sort of hardens and she says, no, you're not.
Yes, I am. My privilege.
Roll
I
persuasion.
didn't realize you were planning on fighting him right away. He's still recovering from a lung infection that leaves him outwinded. He can't really fight in a thing right now. I don't want to lose him just because he's under the weather.
Persuasion roll, please.
Okay. Persuasion, please, as Zitra says.
Alright, so you get...
Sir,
after her face hardens...
You roll that? Something?
And she says, no, you're not. And you start expounding upon that. You get about 3 words in, and she just fucking casts the whole ass silence spell, and your mouth is still moving, but no sound is coming out. And after your mouth stops moving, she lets it go, and she says, "You'll not do that again, Catherine."
Cecil's
fine, I'll wait outside
there.
afterwards. I'll wait outside and talk to you after you're done.
Cecil is standing like 6 inches like to the left and behind of Catherine, just watching this.
Cecil and Catherine, you both feel as her face kind of relaxes. You feel this it's like when you're at the airport and you're sitting in a chair and you know that you're going to be sitting there during this layover for a couple of hours, but you didn't bring a book and you didn't bring a handheld console or anything, but despite that, looking out at the takeoffs and the landings, out the very large wall-sized window, you're okay existing in this moment for however long you will.
Huh.
Yeah.
That's not oddly specific.
And there's a very strange inner peace that accompanies it. And Cecil, the pain throbbing in your shoulder starts to ebb away, and you're blinking at the regular intervals, but after one such blink that happens to be simultaneous between the both of you, you are no longer in the Colosseum. You are in the sunlit room that you had your makeup done in, Catherine. And Cecil, your arm is bandaged into a sling, and you feel much better refreshed,
That's good.
shampooed.
Do I clear my injury? The exhaustion?
It's a little tender,
Okay. So I'll just leave it for now.
but you've both benefited from a long rest.
Hey, do I fully heal?
Yep. That's what benefiting
Nice.
from a long rest means.
I don't know what that means, so I have to ask.
Do I heal too?
Yeah.
Catherine,
Yes.
what the fuck?
Zitra's still in front of you. She's just
Yeah, I know.
sitting down and not facing you anymore.
Cecil's just talking.
Is the long rest over?
The long rest will be over. Do you have anything you want to do?
Yeah.
Alright, what's
I
up?
think I wanted to. I don't know, maybe some. I don't have any other projects, I guess.
Alright,
If
so
anyone wants to commission something, I can do that.
yeah, no, you had 6 hours. So you want to work on the heart?
And, well, yeah, that's the only big project left.
Great.
But
So
I mean, if there's something that I can put for a side project,
you could
really
let me
ask for.
think. Is there any other inventions that you want to build? The heart is a little pressing is the only thing, and you may not have much time left here with it.
Yeah, but I mean, it could be on the schedule. Could be written. I can write it on the side.
Yeah, that's true. So we'll say you finish the tubing down to the reservoir that the fog fur led you to.
Huh?
For the heart. Or did you want to do something else?
Let's focus on that because if there's pressing matters for the next day, it should be done fast.
Yeah. Okay. So you finish the tubing, connecting the base of a fixture you still need to build around the heart to the reservoir underground, and now you just need to build like the, frankly, pretty complex container that's going to serve as the actual refrigerator for the heart. But you can finish that the next long rest.
I actually, since this is technically a long rest, I had a question.
What's up?
Actually, no, in character. So Catherine and Cecil are vibing there, right?
So functionally, you and Catherine don't really get to work on anything over this long rest.
No, I know, but still, like, I just, like, as we're alive and functioning, right?
Yeah.
As we're kind of just vibing there.
Yeah, maybe.
So could we put like progress on our clocks?
No.
But maybe not clocks, but something that she is very good at that Cecil is about to ask her for, as he leans in and is wondering, Catherine, so you're good at materia, right?
Pretty good.
Okay. I have a interesting question.
Azitra slowly brings her hand up, and in it she is holding the shadow materia.
Yes, that. I'll be taking that. Thank you very much.
She lowers it back into her robes.
We must have come to some sort of misunderstanding.
She looks at you, Catherine, and she says, "You certainly let your privileged speak more than I do."
Cecil knows better not to say anything for a second before looking at Catherine, kind of like incredulously, like, what the fuck did you just get yourself into?
Yeah, well, he's not the physical fighting sort of privileged. He's the mental fighting sort of privileged.
You know, between him and... She looks at her nails idly, each of which is cut to a different length. And your... Oh, what was his name? Frederick?
Roderick.
Ah, yes, him. I'm starting to wonder that maybe you're the privileged. And she gets a wry smile as she looks at you out of the corner of her eye.
Cecil kind of, like, looks between the two of them. Is it true, was it?
Could you please tell him not to address me directly?
Alright. Yeah, as As a
No.
low-ranking guy, you're not supposed to talk directly to her.
As Catherine says that, Cecil looks past her and says, "Okay then, wall parallel to the asshole. Would you mind explaining where we are, specifically, and which tier?"
Roll persuasion.
Alright, hell yeah. Sorry, I gotta find persuasion. 21, I'm gonna search that really quick.
Okay.
Probably a good idea.
30.
Nice, good job. 30. So she stops looking at her nails and she looks between the two of you before her gaze unsatisfyingly settles on Catherine. And she says, "Disappointing. I will be giving you the difficult bracket then." And she stands up and leaves the room.
Okay, she is definitely my nemesis.
As she's leaving,
Bow declared.
well, as she's leaving,
She casts the silence spell.
no, I'm not saying anything. What is the likelihood of pickpocketing the materia back off of her?
And find out.
You're sitting
Try
on a.
it and find
You're
out.
sitting on a.
Don't be a
You're
bitch.
sitting on a chair like 10 feet away from her.
Oh, what? I thought we were, like, still close, my bad.
Not particularly, no.
So that's basically you won't get this off? Alright, I
Yeah,
got you.
same as the persuasion. It was a, roll it for the fuck of it.
Thanks for the reward, ass.
You don't have to subtract the 9 hit points. And, like, specifically heal those. You'll need them.
Where's my materia?
Terrifying. She took it. Were you not paying attention?
I was, and that's why I want it back.
Out of character, do you want to know?
I can take a guess.
She's going to use it as motivation. And that brings us to the end of today's session. Thanks for coming, everyone.
What did she